Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode here on the channel with me. And as always, I'm your host, Dragon Steve. And today we're playing D&D Adventures in the Skydom, episode 7. We are joined by the Slayer playing Eleise and Yvonne playing Rose. For all of you guys watching on my end here, you can see a document with the names of 3 D&D spells. There is a creature that these two will be fighting today that has an immunity to 3 spells. These are the 3 spells that I have chosen for the creatures to be immune to. And I'm doing this as just like a sign of good faith. So I'm like, hey, I'm not just gonna bullshit you guys and just like pick like randomly say like when you attack these creatures with a thing, it is going to not be affected. And also I have this as a list so I know which spells I've chosen on my end, so I don't say give it like 4 by accident. But I did cross-reference these to the list the players had. So each each player character, which counting Aura as a DMPC for this situation, has 1 spell in their list that these creatures are immune to. But anyways, Elise, Yvonne, is there anything that you guys would like to say before we kick things off?
Yes. To everybody watching on my end, sorry for the late start, but you did not miss any of the D&D, you just missed Dragon's intro.
And
And yep,
it's
as he's already said, we're going to be fighting things, and he's picked 1 spell from each of us for the thing to be immune to. So,
all
yep.
right. Yvonne, anything you'd like to say to the group? Or to either of the chats? Hello? I'm going to take that as a no. So, you guys come downstairs from your rooms at the Blue Dragon Tavern and Inn to see Siakrate and Aether at a table with an unusual woman. The woman appears to be 4'5" in height, has pink hair, as well as horns. At her hip is an unusual sword that none of you have ever seen before. Aura, coming down and seeing this woman, shudders and tries to run back upstairs before the woman calls out to her, calling her, "Hey, Aura, what are you doing? Why are you running away from your big sister? And I see you have new friends. Why don't you come introduce them to me?" Aura, with her head hung low, will march over towards the table and take a seat next to the newcomer. What would you guys like to do?
Like to use slime shifting to turn into a rat, then climb on the table.
Go for it.
So, yeah, I'd be about here, but obviously smaller size.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. There's something I did not do yet, but it's just quick fix.
Yeah, no, my mic just was not working for the life of me.
Oh, darn. Sorry about that. What would you like to do, Yvonne? We now have Elise is a rat on the table. What would you like to do here?
So we have Elise and ah.
Elise is just a rat sitting on the table.
I guess I'll just be sitting with Aura and be laughing at this situation that could very well be embarrassing and I could tease her with.
Yes. Um, so the new woman just casually picks up Elise and go, "Why did you try and turn into a rat? I saw you as a human. You know, you can't hide from me either." And
I just
the
felt
new
like
woman,
being a rat.
the woman turns to Aura and goes, "So, are you gonna introduce me to your new friends yet, little sis?" Aura sighs, a deep, depressing sigh, and is just like, "You're not my sister. You're just another adventurer. Why do you insist on calling yourself that?" And before introducing Yvonne, and just goes, "Narmaya, Yvonne, Yvonne, Narmaya." And to this, Narmaya gets a bit huffy and goes, "Come on, you're not even gonna tell them about your anything funny about your big sister?" And then Narmaya just peeks over the table to Yvonne. "And it's nice to meet you, Yvonne. And please, feel free to call me big sister if you'd like."
There's a very good chance I might.
She immediately perks back up to this before turning back to Sierra and asking, "So, what exactly did you call me here for again?" Sierra, or Siakrate, if you want to use the full name. I just used her short name most of the time. Um, and Aether comes around to the side of the table as well, going, "Recently, Aether talks first. Recently, some of my customers have reported sightings of a new dungeon not too far off from here that was just uncovered by some earthquakes.
No, no.
We sent some people in to see if we could find out anything about it, but nobody came back. So, we'd like to hire you to attempt and explore it." And Aether also looks at Yvonne, Aura, and the rat Elise that is currently more or less being like choke held by Narmaya. Because like she's just holding it like the freaking Halo 3 rat, just squeak squeak.
I was thinking of that one Ratatouille frame.
She's like just like
I
holding the
just said
rat.
to Narmaya, "Hey, can you stop holding me like this? You're not choking me, but it is uncomfortable."
Yeah. To Narmaya will just laugh and then set you back on the table. "Okay, whatever you want, little rat." And Aether also says to Aura, Yvonne, and Elise, "If you would like to also partake in the expedition, feel free as long as Narmaya greenlights it. This could be hard for you. There was reports of helmed horrors near roaming around the entrance. So do be careful if you go." To which Narmaya immediately perks up, going, "Yay! Sisters are together on a trip? That sounds fun." And Aura just immediately, "No, please, anything but going with you."
Say, exploring a very dangerous dungeon sounds like fun.
Yvonne, what are you doing? Or are you just teasing Aura at this point, being the disaster lesbian you are?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, well, I've done still better things, and it hasn't been kneeling for Aura.
To which Narzi is just gonna give you like a like the freaking like head tilt, like eyebrow raise, like, "Hmm?" But Narmaya will give you all the green light to come along, and would you like to drag Aura along or try to convince her to come along? The choice is yours.
And convince her to come along.
I'll try and talk her into it as well.
Roll for persuasion. Note, this is going to be mid DC because Aura absolutely does not like hanging out with Narmaya.
This is gonna be what, DC?
Middle difficulty DC.
6.
Also, Rose, you have a +2 to
Yep,
persuasion.
I noticed. I was just for the Skydom.
Is Yvonne's character sheet finally in Roll20?
No.
Probably should get on that to make a lot of stuff easier.
I mean, I just have, like, just extra tabs with all my freaking character sheets.
Yep.
Also, for everybody who does not know, Narmaya is currently planned as a one-off NPC just for this quest because I recently made some new D&D subclasses, and I wanted to test one of them out. So that's exactly what Narmaya is doing here. If these two, if Yvonne and Eleise like Narmaya enough, I will make her a permanent fixture to the group. Yep, I'm just gonna move the
Oh, that's a neat little feature.
What little feature are you talking about?
Oh, you know how if you're in the chat, you can say different things? If you do that, it actually changes your little profile picture. Like, I currently have it set to as Eleise, so my profile picture has changed to Eleise.
All right, so what formation would you guys like to enter the dungeon as? And you're still a rat right now, Elise, unless you would like to change out of being a rat.
Yeah, I'd like to change out of being a rat.
Everything went to the trash.
Yeah, being a rat is good for doing practical jokes, but not really good for fighting.
All right, so what is the party order you guys would like to go into this dungeon as? I'm just gonna hold you guys off to the side of the dungeon, and then you guys can tell me. So it's gonna be a 2x2 formation. Would you like the 2 fighters in front and then the 2 magic people in the back?
Probably be best if
Yeah, we
I'm in
can
the front,
do that.
because while I do know magic, I am best off just sitting around tanking hits.
I wouldn't exactly call your class a frontliner. Well, you do have a decent bit of HP. Look at the HP and AC difference between you and the 2 fighters. Or even just you and Rose's character.
Yes, but a few things. First off, I have a decent few resistances.
And healing.
Yeah, as well as a passive healing effect.
Again, look at Narmaya. 84 health with an armor class of 18. That is without a shield. She is wearing half plate right now.
The fact that I don't really do damage if I'm in the back line.
Again, this is just for entering the dungeon. You will eventually end up like spreading out and stuff. This is just like for how you guys are gonna start in.
Movement speed of 15 feet.
Exactly. These two have 30 each.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the dash action to really move anywhere. So I might as well have the extra 5 feet, because they're just gonna get in front of me anyway.
Alright, so with that out of the way, Elise will be taking one of the 2 front spots. Which front spot would you like to take? Top or bottom?
Literally, like, half of it went wasted.
Yeah, I'll take top. And
Alright.
I am going to go do something real quick.
Yvonne, do you want a front row spot or a back row spot? And do you want the top or bottom for yours selected?
Uh, I think I'll take the.
Supply. This is not 1 month.
Yeah, I think I'll take the top for the back.
You're going in behind Elise, and then it will be Narmaya and Aura sitting over here.
Right here. 1 hand here and 1 hand here.
And I'm also gonna
For
have
our
to do something.
party's lineup.
Hold it. One hand from each corner. No, the corner. Before we throw it into the trash, I have to throw away that for trash because it's full. So, here. Wait here.
I know.
Oh god, that one's going very fast. Has an initiative of 4, and Aura has an initiative of 5.
Returned.
You're gonna do is make sure that this bag.
Alrighty, so we're rolling initiative.
Yep.
This one has a bag. No, this. Attention. This is the bag that you want. This is the one that he needs to put in the bag. Yeah. Okay.
Alright, I finally returned. Uh,
Roll for initiative.
Alright,
Your initiative
let's
bonus
see
is a
this.
4.
Hey, nice.
16. So this is fun. We have the 2 people in the party going first, stuck in the back row. Because Elise wanted to be a frontliner. What is this thing's movement? 30 feet? So this thing is gonna... So the first of our helmed horrors is going to come up and attack Narmaya. Over here. That is not at all what I... Why was that on my control V list still? I've changed my control C already.
I don't know.
Maya's going dead last.
Yep. 21. That will hit for 8 slashing
Definitely
plus
should up the movement
5 force.
speed of the class, so that way she's not barely moving without using the dash action.
Also, Dragon, I think you may need to resend the Yvonne PDF because the one I'm looking for may be outdated or something.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I haven't sent you the newest version. I will do that real quick. What's my desktop? Have fun.
Hey, let's see this.
Alright, so 8 plus 5 is quick math. It's not my strong suit, real quick. Just gonna pull up my fucking phone's calculator.
8 plus 5 is 13.
Well, I was just gonna like plug in the 84 minus 8 minus 5.
Okay.
71. And it gets to do this twice. $17. No hits. Because of her nimble stature, Maya definitely manages to dodge in the limited space in this corridor. Turn now proceeds to Aura, who... Does Aura have anything I can do right now? Let me check the rules on Blade Ward here real quick. Nope, Aura is stuck in the back row because, again, Elise decided to sit in the front.
How was I know she was going to go before I did?
That's kind of the whole thing with fighters, is they're fast and they're frontliners. They're called tank attack. The fighter is classed as a tank slash attack for a reason. They're meant to be the people in the front going first. So Aura's going to be stuck in the back row, unable to do anything right now. Your turn, Giovanni. Anything you would like to try and do? Do you have any? I mean, you have a bow. You could try and shoot over Elise's shoulder if you really want.
I can indeed. I don't think I have proficiency for bows.
You have proficiency with simple weapons. Actually, I think a bow is a simple weapon. I can double check that.
Oh, yep. Yep, I do have that for bows. Short bows.
Yep, because your bow is a short bow, and a short bow is considered a simple weapon.
Alright, so just need to check specifically how much here. Oh. it's +3, alright. Oh wait, no, it's
I mean,
plus.
your proficiency is already calculated in your attack bonus. I think, or actually, I think I forgot to bump it up. So you have an attack bonus of +6 on your bow because I forgot you had bonus with the bow.
I was like, oh
So you
hot
can just,
damn.
so you can correct that to a +6 on your end as well. So you have a +6 to attacks with your bow. So if you want to just
Alright.
try and shoot an arrow at this thing,
Yeah, I will go for that then. Luck don't fail me. Yeah!
25. Congratulations. Roll for damage. Which I do believe your damage is correct. 1d6 plus 3. Would be
Bows
plus
have
4.
a ruling of you make the shot at disadvantage if your target's within a certain distance of you.
I think we looked that up last time, and that's like within 5 feet, and this creature is within 10 feet. It might be a bit more, though. I can double check that.
I have another plan if that happens to be the case.
Right. Range. $80 to $320. So, nope. To the to the 2024 rules, it looks like they've updated that rule on the ranged property, which is I'm pretty sure where they got their if Rose is attacking anything beyond 80 feet, it gets disadvantage. If she's attacking and she cannot attack anything past 320 feet with it.
Okay.
I can read off the range
Okay.
rule right here. A ranged weapon has a range, in parentheses, after the ammunition or thrown property. The range lists two numbers. The first is the weapon's normal range in feet, and the second is the weapon's long range. When attacking a target beyond normal range, which for a short bow is 80 feet, that is if I'm reading this correctly, yes, you have disadvantage on the attack roll, and you cannot target a creature beyond the long range.
Alrighty then. So yeah, it looks like wizards just removed the whole if something's too close to you, you get disadvantage rolling on it altogether then.
Because I'm looking at
Exactly.
like weapons. I'm looking in the player handbook tab on weapons and whatnot, and I'm not seeing anything directly about getting like the bows having that anymore.
Okay.
So 1d6 plus 4 for your damage roll.
Alright. Nice.
10 max damage. Congratulations. And with that, turn is now Elise.
attack opportunity can only trigger when you're moving out of a creature's range, right?
As far as I know, yes. But unless you, so as long as you stay more or less within this group of tiles right here, you technically aren't getting any further away from it.
I'll move here. Then
That is the entirety of your movement. I will have you know, because you cannot move through this. This thing is occupying its space right over here. So unless if you're trying to move through it, you will have to make an athletics check.
I mean, I have enough movement to just go where I want anyway.
Yeah.
Could make a clone. Alternatively, I could also just make a greatsword and attempt to smack this guy again.
That would be your best option, because here in a second, you're going to be flanked by a second one.
Yeah. I'll use my bonus action to use Slam Weapon, make a great sword. Then I will use my action and attempt to smack this guy.
Go for it. 21.
21.
That hit. Roll for
Alright, and
damage.
great sword is 2d4 plus my strength modifier, if I remember right.
It would be 2d4 plus strength, plus you have proficiency with that whatever weapons you're using.
2d4? If I remember right,
Uh,
we did establish that great sword is 2d6.
yeah, 2d6. Sorry.
So yeah, plus my strength modifier, and would it be my proficiency bonus?
Yes, that is what I just said. At least that's how
Alright.
I've been tabulating it damages, because I'm pretty sure if you have proficiency with an item, you get your proficiency bonus on your damage roll as well as your roll to hit. If
Yeah, I
not,
got
well then
proficiency
I'm
bonus.
homebrewing that roll for this campaign.
Well, my proficiency bonus is plus 10, so yeah, 1 and 2 still did 15 damage.
Okay. Is your proficiency bonus 1 per level? I do have to ask that right now.
Yeah, I implemented a every time except for one where I get a stat increase, my proficiency bonus gets increased by 2.
No. You are I'm gonna allow that for the rest of this session, but you are going to have to rework that, because that is way too much proficiency bonus. A level 20 character's average proficiency bonus is normally like 5 or 6. I can look this up. I can double check this real quick. But for an average like fighter, for an average fighter at level 20, you have a proficiency bonus of 6 as a level 20 fighter.
See.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
no,
I
that
remember
is
right,
you do not get a +6 proficiency with any normal class or even like any homebrew class that I've ever seen until level 17. For level 10, you should have a +4.
like when we were initially going to put proficiency increases into this class, you did actually okay this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. But yeah, when we were originally discussing this class, this was something you okayed. Yeah, that could be my memory just messing with me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, to be fair, I wasn't too well versed in, like, class proficiency bonuses and how, busted they were back when we were originally talking about this. So, like, there have been, like, some things that I'm like, yeah, this seems fine, and then, like, we actually go into, like, playtesting, and I'm just like, wait a minute, that's actually way more broken than it should be for this area. So, like, I think, like, I remember saying one proficiency bonus per level was okay, but that, again, at the time, I wasn't, like, well versed in proficiency bonus per level. Yeah,
Yeah, I set the override to. Yeah, I set the. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just misremembering my proficiency bonus. My proficiency bonus is actually +8, not +10.
yeah, that is still very high for a level 10 character to have. Because every other class has a only gets a +6 after level 17, and then they just keep that all the way up to 20.
Okay. So yeah, definitely gonna need a
Yeah,
bit of rework.
that is going to. I can give you the proficiency bonus list off because it's the same for every class, as far as I can tell. Because I just like checked 3 different classes and it was the same all the way. It was the same for each.
So yeah,
1 through 4 is a +2. 5 through 8 is a +3. 9 to 12 is a +4. 13 to 16 is 5, and then 17 to 20 is +6. And that appears to be the same across every class.
so
So I think
yeah, after
proficiency
this
bonus
session,
is
I'll
more of just
definitely.
based on your level than it's an actual class feature, unless you have a class feature that can buff it. But even then, that would probably be like a thing for like levels 18, 19, 20.
But yeah, definitely after this session, I'm going to rework that. Oh, where I got that +10 from instead of +8. Because in Slime Weapon, it says 11 +10. And my brain did not acknowledge the fact that it was also taking my strength modifier into account. So yeah, that's where I got the +10 from. But yeah, no, it is normally supposed to be +8. Say we just subtract 2 from that roll, so it's
Subtracting 2 from
13
that
damage.
roll to hit brings it down to a 19, which is
The
just
2 hit,
underneath the armor.
the 2 hit was perfectly fine. I just used the built-in rolling for that. The damage is what we're subtracting the 2 from.
All right, so bring that down, that brings it to 13. All right. Anything else you'd like to do? You're out of movement, you're out of bonus action, you're out of action. And so that's a no.
Yeah, there's nothing else I'd like to do because there's nothing else I can do. Because yeah, the only other thing I have is the reaction, which that would need to be triggered. Uh, but yeah, I do need to actually update my slime pool. I remember a slime weapon
Yep.
is yeah. For anything other than 2 specific weapons, it's just 10 slime.
And it is now
Yeah.
time for the second animated armor, or helmed horror. I don't know why I want to call them animated armors right now. They're technically helmed horrors, is their proper name. $17. So that is 8 slashing damage plus 5 force damage. So that's going to be for you. You have slashing resistance. So that's going to be 9 damage to you.
I'm down to 26, I believe. Yeah, 26.
Yeah, 26 would be correct. But here's the fun thing. It gets to do that twice.
Ready?
Yep, that's another 9 damage. And now it's Narmaya's turn, and it's time for some fun. God, this is gonna be great for me. So, for Narmaya's bonus action, it is time to activate one of her class features, known as Stance Swap. Narmaya will be entering the Dawnfly stance, which gives her a bonus to her armor class of 1 for every butterfly she has, which is currently 0, plus her proficiency bonus, which is a +4.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, cancel. I don't want to say this. Actually, I can just work on this. But 24 armor class now on top, but at the cost of half of her move speed. And now it's time to really start freaking around with people, because plus, oh yeah, I forgot that's a +9 to hit with her kit. Um 22. That will hit for, I think this is, oh, that's the wrong character sheet. 1d8 plus 7. Jesus Christ. So that's 9 damage to this armor. And Aura has now, and because Aura now, or one of Aura's other class abilities activate, because she had made a weapon attack, she gains 1 butterfly. Which means even more armor. Armor class goes up to 25. And it's time to do this again. 24. That's an 11 damage. And guess what? That's 1 more butterfly. But that's not all. It's time for Action Surge. Ah, she finally misses an attack. But we have another. But wait, there's more. But because she made she hit another weapon attack. That's one more butterfly, which means one more AC. But wait, there's more. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing it right now. But here's the fun thing. So, or Normaya's class is called the subclass is a fighter with the subclass Ephemeral Blade, which I've custom made. And yeah. So there's a fun thing she can do with her butterflies in the form of replenishing her action surge mid-combat, no action required, as long as she has a butterfly to spend to do so.
Uh,
I am going to make that a bonus action required to do that.
it probably should be a bonus action.
Yeah.
I am definitely updating that to become a bonus action before I give out like the document with her subclass. There's also another fun one that I made that kind of works with it, but it plays very differently. So the subclass I made for Normaya, the Ephemeral Blade, leans completely into fighters just being a massive attack, single target damage attack engine. I made a different subclass that leans more into their role as a tank or defender. But yeah, basically, so long as you guys stand behind Normaya, nothing will hit you because this woman just gets bullshit AC, and the more she fights, the more bullshit AC she gets. And now it's back to the freaking armor's turn. $16, that will not hit. 9, that will also not hit.
Yeah, just nat 1.
Yeah, no. The armor basically goes to swing at Narmaya. She just like pushes it off to the side with her hand, just like, no, we don't do that here. She doesn't even like parry or block it. She's just like, no, we don't do that. It is now Aura's turn. And Aura's gonna come up and around to start doing to start putting in some work herself. I need to just double check the wrench's stats. It's more or less the same as Normaya. It's just slightly lower than Normaya's. 9, that's not gonna hit. But good thing, Aura has I'll just subtract 1 from that. Nope, it wouldn't hit anyways. Good thing Aura also has action surge. Nope, Aura is not landing any. Aura just attempts to just like starts in her. Oh, sorry, I hit the note. Sorry about that. I accidentally ripped my headset out because I sometimes stand up and like actually movements as I'm doing this, not that anybody could ever see them. But or basically like he runs up to this thing and just like starts swinging a wrench around like crazy and just doesn't manage to contact anything. And with that, it is now once again Yvonne's turn.
Hmm. All right. All right. Can I see a better reliable and turning into a big pangolin?
Really? You're not, I mean, yeah, no, I wouldn't let you use that right now anyways, because this room is way too small for you to do it. But yes, you may go and attempt to turn into yes, you may go and turn into a pangolin.
I did not realize the ceiling was low on this one.
You're in an underground dungeon right now. Why do you think BT's not here?
I don't know. Probably some weird shit about how underground messes with connection.
BT is an autonomous robot. It doesn't need a connection.
Yeah.
Go, become the pangolin. Do you need me to update your stats?
Yes, please. And yeah, then I will go roll for how big I can make it. Oh damn! I become 1 times the size of a regular pangolin.
1 times the size of a regular pangolin is a regular pangolin. Congratulations. You are a normal pangolin.
All right.
And this is why I decided to make some new gear for you guys to find at the end of this dungeon. Which I'm,
All right. Where is?
don't worry about what I'm doing.
All right, but yeah, we'll try and attack this armor with my failed pangolin.
I mean, it's not a failed pangolin, it's just a normal pangolin. I don't consider that failing. You did turn into a pangolin.
I was trying to turn into a big. I was trying to turn into at least a larger than average pangolin. This is just a
Alright,
pangolin.
roll a d20. You have to get a nat 20 to hit this thing because pangolins have no hit modifier.
Damn.
So, your only choice to hit this thing is to crit and do 2 damage.
Yeah, no, that attack failed, so I'm just gonna step back and leave it there.
I need to pay more attention to my VTuber software.
Speaking of which, I'll just pop into my stream chat and double check that. Nope. I'm not seeing anything in my chat.
Yeah, I was just checking my stream chat, then I just see my VTuber model going all over the place.
Well,
And
with
yeah,
that,
it is.
it's your turn, Elise, whenever you're ready.
Right, yeah. I have yet to actually update that. Yeah, pretty sure I updated it on the Google Doc though.
You don't have to update these things mid-session. You can update them after session. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, if I remember right, we decided on the rework to slime armor instead of just being a static 10 slime is
Or, I
5
think it was,
slime per target.
yeah, 5 slime per target. And again, the range is touch, so if you're going to apply it to somebody, the only people you can apply it to right now is yourself and Aura.
Never specified a range on this thing.
Well, I more or less, the way I'm assuming it works is the same thing, the same way Mage Armor does, because it's just a class exclusive version of Mage Armor.
Yeah. No, it would make sense for it to have range, because that is still my slime, and I can just control.
Yeah. However,
I
at the
can
same
move it
time,
along the
unless you're
ground.
when I'm saying like range of touch, I'm saying like range that like the bit of your slime that's already out can attach to. So like if you had like a slime blob over by Giovanni and Normaya, you could hit them with it. But all your slime is currently concentrated on your body right now.
Okay, yeah, I should definitely actually specify a range on slime armor, and it is definitely not going to be touch, because it was never intended to be touch. Oh, I did not actually look up the information that I was actually trying. If I remember right, okay, yeah, slime armor is a bonus action. Yeah, I probably want to clone this turn. Honestly, I'm probably the only one who would even need slime armor.
That is correct. In this situation, Aura and Normaya don't really need armor just because they have ridiculous amounts of HP and AC.
Okay, they're not as firm as I thought.
I will use my
because boil them,
bonus
boil them,
action
when you boil a lot, they get more firm.
to apply slime armor to myself, so
They're
1, 3,
very
2,
hot.
I know.
So I got a spoon.
I know.
7.
Like, put the tortillas in the
My God.
They're not that runny, but they're still kind of.
Okay.
I mean, they're not-
I know.
Yeah. I will use slime clone, and since it divides into 0.5, I'm just gonna round up.
Yep, go for
Yeah,
rounding
I
up.
use my action to slime clone, so that way I get another copy of me. Which I'm pretty sure the DM is actually the only person who can copy and paste. And yeah, I will actually decide for the clone to be here. But yeah, that's both my action and bonus action used.
So now you and your clone just have movement.
Hmm.
Also, this was something I thought of, because when you're cloning yourself, that is technically a new target for slime armor, but I'm like, wait a minute. You're splitting yourself in half when you do that, so it's reasonable to say that the armor also splits in half.
Yeah, plus slime armor is by technicality a buff, and the clone is basically just a perfect copy of me at the time of using the ability.
I mean, buff isn't exactly a thing in D&D. We call them conditions over here. And
Potato, potato.
that's just no, because condition can also be a negative status effect. So it is ever so slightly different.
Yeah, just get out my movement. I mean, I might as well have the clone move here so that it's out of the way in case anybody wants to try moving past. And yeah, I don't think there's any more movement I want to make.
All right, now it's on to the second armor's turn. Take your 9 damage, Elise. And 9 damage for the clone as well. This thing basically just like sees you split off and is like, what the frick? And then it just hits both.
Yeah, and yeah, we do got to take slime armor into account. So the first attack is a 4, second attack is a 2.
So you're taking 8,
So
or no, it's 9 damage you're taking. So -4 is going to be 5. So you're taking 5 damage, and then your clone's taking 7.
I did the clone update to 12. Hold on now. Oh, okay, that's annoying. Well, it looks like I do need to spawn in a separate copy of Elise.
No.
Yeah, yeah, because since you did Control C, Control V, they're yeah, practically everything about them's linked.
It's because there are literally the same character right now. I remember what I had to do last time. I had to change that from being tabbed to your main character to being its actual own like unique stat last time. Whoa, what just happened to all my UI?
What happened? What?
My UI just went wonko. I'm just gonna refresh real quick. And with that, it is now Narmaya's turn once again. It's time for Narmaya to use one of her class skills, known as, I'm pretty sure the one I'm using is Setsuna. I'm just gonna double check. Yes, it is Setsuna. Once per, as in Narmaya can, thrice per short rest, replace one of her weapon attacks with a frontal slash dealing 1d4, or a number of d4 equal to the amount of butterfly she expends for this ability, which is going to be all three of her current ones, which brings her current AC back down to just the +4. $12. So this isn't going to hit. But what it would have done if it did hit was 3d4 plus strength plus proficiency. Because she put 3 butterflies into it. And now it is just time to make a regular attack. Because she's out of butterflies, so she can't do any specials right now. That will hit. And her attack damage, I think, was 1d8 plus 7. Yes, 1d8 plus 7. Oh, she kills this armor and gets a butterfly. I need to just measure out the movement real quick. Boop. Boop. Okay, yeah, she can make that run because one of her race features as a medium draft, flexible build. She counts as one size smaller when trying to squeeze through areas, which means she can squeeze through this. She can squeeze through aura space and then up to here and then down one more. And then use a butterfly as a bonus action to regain a charge of action surge and go for this again on the next armor. 17 8 plus 7. Yeah, for natural 1 there. That's +1 butterfly and armor class. And then again, 28. Cool. 4, so that's 11 damage now. And with that, combat goes to Aura now. Boom, it's time to show off one of her new spells that she got for leveling up, because Aura, for people who don't know, is a... Oh. Did it not update the class level last time I put this in? Anyway, she is a level 10 Eldritch Knight fighter. And I'm just going to find the rules on this because I forgot exactly how it worked, but I'm just going to go. To use. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do this now. Actually, yeah, I'll do this. Um, we'll use Dragon's Breath on herself, giving herself fire. And I just want to double check. Is it 1 magic action in place of a normal action, or is it 2? Or just because I know they get the fun thing where the Eldritch Knight fighters can do. One of your wizard cantrips that has the cast time as an action. Oh, no. Okay. Well, Aura can now breathe fire for the next little bit. And we'll end her turn there. It is now your turn, Yvonne, the pangolin. Who is a perfectly normal pangolin in every way and totally not a shapeshift alien.
Alright. Sorry, I was making a burrito while I was waiting for my turn to get back. Just let me roll it up. I'm done, I'm done.
No, no, I was just making a joke. Also, I don't want to get copyright struck, so I can't do more than that bit. I mean, I'm not popular enough to be copyright struck, though, let's be honest. I don't think me or Elise are big enough that we'd get copyright struck.
Yeah, sadly. But
Womp womp. I'm pretty sure if I go check my chat right now, there's nothing. There's nobody in it.
So yeah, what are these things again? What called?
They are called haunted. They are called helmed horrors. Is their proper name. If there's anything you want to know about them, I have their page opened up right now.
alright, let's see. Could I take could I take the baby dragon form that I got earlier?
Yes, you can turn into a pseudo dragon if you'd like. I mean, you would have to
Yeah, I will.
end your current shapeshift to do
Alright,
that.
so
So,
yeah, I'll
I'm
just
just
go pipeline like Angle and
gonna
me,
double
and
check the
then
rules on when you're ending the wild shape. All right, so you can use it again while you're currently wild shape. So now you're turning into a pseudo dragon. Sorry, I just wanted to double check the
yep,
rulings.
let's go.
So no, you're not technically a baby dragon. I just think this thing looks and feels a lot like a baby dragon. It's called a pseudo dragon.
Hmm.
Is its proper creature name. Would you like to try and up or down scale it?
Mm. Wait, hold it. Yeah, I would try to upscale it.
All right. Roll 1d. I'm gonna say roll a d8 because that's about the biggest this thing's gonna become in here without crashing through to the ceiling.
Oop. I am 1 times the size of a regular pseudo dragon.
You are a regular pseudo dragon. You are not one time the size of anything. You're just normal.
Let me have my running gags.
Can't. Yeah, I think you've gone from I can't use range weapons to I can't upscale myself. Your attempts at upscaling this section have had about as much success as soccer as Kamen Rider Tycoon attempting to use the freaking boost buckle.
All right. Would it be possible for me to fly and take a fireball at the armor like across the others?
Just realized I still have my ring of acid resistance equipped.
That is correct. You never took it off. Um, Unfortunately, the pseudo dragon does not have a breath attack.
Damn.
But you can bite 2 things per turn. Or you can sting something because you have a tail barb.
Alright, I'm going to attempt to.
Oh, wait, I
I'm
would not
attempt.
recommend stinging because stinging is poison damage, which these things are immune to. So just chomp
Then.
it.
Alright, so when you said I can bite 2 things, does it have to be 2 different ones, or can I just bite this thing twice?
You can just bite this thing twice. If you want to.
Alright.
So you're just gonna, fly
Well,
over to
Lady
this
Luck,
thing
don't kill me now. Yep.
and then bite it. Just nom nom.
Damn.
You know you're not hitting
I
with either of those rolls. You kind of just like flap over and like on your way as you're trying to like flap over, you bonk your head into the ceiling and kind of just like flop to the ground right in front of it.
Well, I guess I'll just like take a small walk through through this just through these 2 and head back to safety.
And with that, Elise, it is your turn. Can you kill it, or is Normaya gonna have to just start pulling out more class features to kill this thing?
Well, first off, I'm not going to forget about my passive this time. It's 1 off from the enhanced healing. Yeah, I still heal 2.
Congratulations. Do you think you and your clone will be able to kill this thing, or is it just going to just end up coming down to Normaya with just her 3 billion attacks per turn because of her class feature?
Where die again?
Spend one of my level 2 spell slots to upcast Slime Enchantment on my Great Sword. And we'll do, I guess, thunder damage.
Yeah, go for it.
And then I will attempt to smack this guy.
Roll.
That is a 20.
Congratulations.
Alright, so that is. So 2d6 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2d4. Of course, it doesn't recognize the command. Probably need to put the 2d4 somewhere else. Nope, doesn't recognize that either.
Nope, you can roll 2 different dice at the same time. So what is the dice amount that you need to roll?
Into like the best in it first.
I
And
need
then
to roll
12,
2d6
then come up with the
for
hit.
the base
Yes.
damage of the Great Sword, then 2d4 for the damage buff from Slime Enchantment.
2d. Oh, there you go.
Okay,
You got
there
it.
it goes. And then we just add 10 to that.
Just throw it up.
So 22. And now, it is your clone's turn, unless you'd like to try moving one tile up.
Yeah, now I'm just gonna go over to the clone. And does the clone get to heal? Just barely.
This depends on the waste of
And
money.
2 HP.
It doesn't work properly.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to need to work into the
Same.
levels
Like
a
mixing
enhancement to the
to-
passive HP
for
regen.
the rocks itself, it goes into the food.
Anyway,
Passive HP regen from a low level is already strong enough ability. Any class that has a regen ability, or any feature or item that gives you one, is always an active ability.
but like, I mean, so that way later on into the, like, it gets an enhancement in later levels, so that way later on into the game, it's not healing you for, like, next to nothing.
There it is.
Because the most this can ever heal you is 8 HP, and you need to get God rolls for that, because you need to roll a 15 on the dice to see if the passive even triggers, and then both the D4s need to roll 4. So yeah, the enhancement is definitely going to be later on in the levels. And the passive is kind of needed for how low of an armor class that class almost always has.
I don't know, you could maybe talk to Zero about buying actual armor.
Pretty sure we actually discussed that due to how the slime is, she's basically going to have to restrict drastically her ability to use her abilities just to wear armor. Anyway,
Half plate exist for a reason, where it is just a chest piece.
anyway, and I actually never specified in Slime Clone whether or not the slime weapon would also be transferred over. So yeah, actually, it stands to reason that the weapon made from slime weapon would also transfer over. Because at the end of the
Yes,
day, the weapon made from slime weapon is still a part of my body.
that is correct.
So yeah.
Also, if you're currently saying no to buying armor, you won't mind if Rose and Aura get all the loot from this dungeon, outside of the protection rings, for the next boss fight.
I'll need to see what the loot is. Anyway, the clone is going to do the same thing that the main body did, where I just use level 2 spell slot to upcast slime enchantment, and then just smack the guy.
Roll.
Wait, no, that's the damage. I need to roll d20 to hit. Come on, where the hell is that in the log? There it is. That is a 2, yeah, even after the modifiers, that that still will not hit, because that would be enhanced to a 12.
All right, roll your d4 for your slime armor, Elise.
Is a 4. He attacking the clone?
Congratulations. No, I'm attacking your main body right now.
Okay. So that is
Because you're the one who just punched it.
5 damage.
Ooh.
That is a nat 20.
Yeah, that's a crit. That's double damage.
I mean, I'm required to do this, so roll the damage
Yes.
reduction.
So you roll 4. So you reduce what would have been, I think, not 18 damage by 4. You're still down. Prepare to start making death saves.
Well, actually, yeah, this does bring up a interesting conundrum, because my clone is still active, and they would clone, and because of the hive mind thing of all the cells of my being, the main body dies, the clone becomes the main body.
Correct. However, your main body is not dead. You are incapacitated.
Yeah.
So does that mean that her clone works on its
Even
own,
though
or
I
does
have a ridiculously low health and armor class, I am still very hard to kill. Just because a slime clone.
Yes, however, your main consciousness is still in your main body until it's properly dead, which is currently
Yeah.
incapacitated. So,
does that mean the clone works on its own, or that it's
the
also
clone is going to be
incapacitated?
working, but it's basically going to be working at like half capacity right now. So I'm going to say take disadvantage on anything you do with your clone temporarily until your main body stabilizes.
Yeah, but yeah, that could actually just happen the next time the main body's clone turn rolls around because of the passive healing.
Your passive healing would not trigger while incapacitated. You'd have to make a death save first, which if you fail, your healing wouldn't trigger. At least how my understanding on death saves works, because you're completely unconscious. You cannot do anything with your main body right now.
Yeah.
You
Well, the
have to.
healing is a passive thing that my body just does on its own. Yeah, I will agree with you there. Because otherwise, if I could just instantly stabilize and res the moment I go down, that would be a little too broken.
Yeah. Because like essentially the way I'm seeing this is because your main body is downed, your like that portion of you has been completely disrupted. Well, it's still holding your main consciousness. It can't function in any way until it's stabilized, which would require 3 successful death saves or external healing. AKA Rose.
Yep, I did get healing.
Yeah.
Which
But I
you
probably should have
just
used.
learned I guess mask your, so the thing with mask your wounds is it will stabilize Elise, it will give them HP back. They will still be unconscious in their main body though. because there is a difference between incapacitated and unconscious. That's just a weird thing with the way death saves work and death healing. Unless you use like a proper revival spell. Just healing a down person just stabilizes their condition and makes them unconscious temporarily.
Yeah, I'll probably tack something onto the passive healing that makes death saves easier, because, like I said, it's a thing that my body just does on its own. So naturally, if I'm seriously injured, my body would still try and heal itself. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to have it be you can basically automatically stabilize yourself. Like, I'm definitely not going to have that. So yeah, probably just like you get a +2 to death saves or something. Didn't it already use its second attack?
Yes, it did. It's Normaya's turn now.
Okay.
And that's a miss. It's now Aura's turn. Time to see if Aura can do anything about this. Can Aura finally land a hit on one of these creatures? We'll find out. Nope, not that time. And this time, Aura lands a hit.
Yes, Metal Pipe go burr.
1d10 plus 4. Max damage! And the armor is down. So, Yvonne, I do hate to inform you of this, but you cannot cast Cure Wounds as a pseudo-dragon.
I mean, I don't see any more enemies in here, so it should be fine to change back in Cure Wounds, right?
Yes. Yes, it would be.
Alright.
However, it will leave you with 1 charge of Wild Shape left. I think you only have 3 charges right now. I can double check that.
I think I have like Orion.
Wild Shape charges at level 10 is 3, and you've already used 2.
Yep.
So, would you like to switch back to your human form?
Yeah, and I will cast the Mass Cure Wounds on Elise.
I'm sure Mass Cure Wounds is an area healing, but I will double check this.
If it is, healing, then that can help Narmaya as well, which would be neat.
A wave of
Yeah, 'cause
healing washes out from a point you can see within range. Choose up to 6 creatures in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on that point. Each target regains hit points equal to 5d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which your spellcasting ability was Wisdom, and your Wisdom modifier is a 0. So, roll 5d8.
Oh, everything. Not bad.
22. Or, normally I would just go back up to 84. I think, because I don't think it gives... Yes, it does not give up temp HP. So, Elise now has... Wait, Yvonne, were you designating both of Elise's slimes, or just the main body?
Yeah, both.
Okay, I just
Because I
wanted to
was
double
trying
check
to.
that.
Yeah, because something else I wanted to ask is that if one at least wakes up and she either like dispels. I forget if she dispels her clone or takes it back to her body, but I was just wondering is if she could heal off of her clone by any way.
I mean, probably not,
Yeah, no.
considering the fact that I'm just reclaiming my slime, and I'm not actually performing a heal.
Fair enough.
Also, she's still currently unconscious, at least in her main body.
But yeah, due to the hive mind aspect of my character, it would probably stand to reason that I could just have my clone come over and wake the main body up.
Yeah, I'd say if you reabsorb your clone comes back over, you could just wake back up. Like you just
Yeah,
reabsorb your clone.
yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just come over, reabsorb it, then just spit it back out. Which, this would copy the main body's condition. Well, the clone's condition, because that's the new main body.
All right. It is technically a dark area as you guys continue this way. So those of you with dark vision can see the
I
rest of the
had a
room.
spell for that.
Yes, if only somebody in the group had a spell for that, and it wasn't magical darkness down each of the hallways you have yet to explore.
Yeah, I'll just cast light on my greatsword.
I think most of the party except for you has dark vision. Actually, no, wait, Giovanni's the only person in the party who has dark vision, never mind. So you're able to alight the stairwell in front of you, but the path off to the side and the path in front of the stairwell remains completely pitch black. What way would you like to go? So no, this is just the special flavored magical darkness that will just be removed from a path as you enter it. Basically, think of it like the freaking fog of war from Dark Souls.
I do not know the fog of war from Dark Souls.
It's like
However, from the
it's the
sounds of it, it
white
does.
fog that's in front of all of the boss rooms.
That's just a fog door.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is basically acting the same way. Until you enter an area, you do not know what is in the area.
Okay. But I'm assuming light would still be useful because it's underground, so there's probably not a lot of light coming down
Yeah.
here anyway.
No. The only reason you guys could see fine where you were is because there's two magic braziers right there that were illuminating it. But as for like the rest of this area, you can't see anything without the light spell.
Still is doing exactly what I took it to do. Be good utility.
All right, but which way would you guys like to go? Would you like to go up? Would you like to go forwards down the staircase?
I mean, forward seems fine.
All right. And you head forwards to the stairwell. And as you enter it, the path on the stairwell clears. You can either go up or down. Or there
Yvonne,
is a path that, like immediately above you that you can see, but you can't tell what's down it. So you can go up to the left, up to the right, straight up, or straight down.
hey, Yvonne, you have any input?
Mm, I would say we go up.
Actually, I would like you guys to make Arcana checks here real quick.
Okay, let me see what my Arcana shit is. Nothing. Ooh!
That one.
You guys cannot sense much of anything, but I'm gonna give you guys this much. There is a greater magical presence below than there is above. However, the presence coming from above is much closer.
This decision up to you, Yvonne.
Well, it seems that Travis below, so I say we go down under.
All right. So you will all head into the room below. The room opens, revealing another magic brazier armed with one armed horror in the room, standing as if it was a suit of armor. It does not move to attack, it simply sits, observing. You may either back out of this room or attempt to sneak past it.
Hmm. I would try
Just
sneaking
know
past.
you are going to have disadvantage sneaking past it because Elise is literally glowing in the dark right now.
Honestly, we could probably just take it.
It's on its
I would also
own.
say
You
we can.
managed to win the 2v1 or the
Also saying is we could
2v5.
probably leave here so the light doesn't trigger it.
I mean, to be fair, these things are only here to protect the areas, the specific areas that they guard. So, like, each one of these is designed to protect a specific artifact in this area, except for the two at the front door. So, as long as you don't go towards the room that this thing is supposed to be guarding, it's not gonna aggro on you guys.
Yeah, Yvonne, we could probably just take it. Because we killed two of these things earlier.
Hmm.
I'm saying you guys don't have to fight this one in particular.
Yeah, I would rather avoid fight. Yeah, I'd rather avoid fighting if we don't need to.
But again,
So
that
like if
depends
it is.
which way you guys are gonna want to go here. You guys can try and go left or try and go right.
But yeah, Yvonne, counterpoint. This thing might be guarding some optional loot.
Oh, it is definitely guarding some optional loot. However, there is a way to get around it and get to the optional loot without having to fight this one in particular. It is the longer route to the loot. However, it is one less fight you have to deal with. Until you try and come back out with the loot, which is going to be good and would help you fight this thing.
I mean, yes, since this route to the loot is shorter and it's 5 of us against the one thing, yeah, we could probably take it down quickly and easily. So, yeah, I vote we just fight this thing to have the quicker route to the loot.
I mean, fighting this thing doesn't necessarily mean you pick the quicker route to the loot. All you guys know is if you move in the direction of the loot, this thing is just
Did
going
you
to
shower?
immediately activate and come after you
I know.
guys.
So we can just do a test. We move one way. If it doesn't aggro on us, we know we gotta move the other way. So, yeah, I say we go left.
Alright, your guys' is in-universe left because you're coming down, or my left, like the screen left.
The screen left this direction.
I was thinking of going this way.
I mean, you can split the party.
Yeah, we probably could.
I don't
Might not
recommend
be
it, but it is an option.
Yeah, it would definitely be
One of the
better.
biggest rules of D&D is never split the party.
Yeah, let's go this direction and see if the thing aggros.
Alright, we can go that way then.
Alright, move your character tokens.
Oh, that is.
Oh, you're just gonna dash through everyone? You're just gonna mold around? This thing immediately jumps you, the second you start heading in that direction.
Oh,
Roll
damn.
for initiative.
And I'm gonna have to roll twice because since I'm not making the clone during combat, it gets its own initiative rather than copying mine. So yeah, first one would be main body, second one is clone. Which this one's main body.
Rose, roll your initiative.
I did, I got 80. Hello to my Discord line?
See 2 copies of the clone on the initiative thing.
I just clicked the top one when I was. That would be because the roll you did 18 on would be the one that was marked your clone then.
Yeah. Yeah, I said that first roll would be main body, second roll would be clone. And that's the opposite of what I
Hers is
said, but it
5,
doesn't really matter.
and Narzi's is 4.
It doesn't really matter because currently both the main body and clone are perfect copies of each other.
All right, we have 4 18s here. So I'm gonna, Aura being the farthest away is gonna go last out of the 18s. Elise will go before Yvonne, but the armor is still technically the one initiating the assault. So it will be armor, Elise, Yvonne, Aura, Elise's clone, and Armaya.
Alrighty.
Alright. Take your roll your d4 for damage resistance. Elise. 1.
What?
Take your 8 damage. And roll your d4 again. Take your 5.
Oh, that's convenient. I can just move the dice roller around.
You can move around most of the interaction boxes.
Alrighty, so it is my turn.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, first off, passive. Does not trigger. Alrighty. I guess I just attempt to slap this guy with my greatsword. 24 to hit.
Roll your damage.
And yeah, it does still have the enchantment on it. And we just add 10 to that for the strength and proficiency bonus, so 23 damage.
How did I click that? Yvonne, it is your turn.
Hey, what are you? Shoo. Alright, sorry, my cat was around.
Well, I do still have my bonus action.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You've already got your sword enchanted with slime enchantment.
Yvonne, what weapon do you plan on using?
More likely my spear.
I'll enchant Yvonne's spear with thunder damage, and I'll upcast it for the additional d4. So now that is only one spell slot left. And the clone has 2. Well, level 2 spell slots anyway. So there we go. I'll do that for my bonus action. Enhance Yvonne's damage output.
Alright. Lady like don't feel me now? Damn.
You do realize your proficiency bonus is a +4, correct?
Oh, I did not realize that, so
Yeah, no,
I'll
you
go with
still
yeah.
would have rolled just a 7. You're not hitting this thing.
Yeah, don't think tacking on your spears you strength, right?
Yep.
Oh, what?
So, but yeah, I don't think even tacking on your strength modifier would have made it hit.
Yeah, she had a 0 strength modifier until just recently. She just put some points into it to bring it up to a +1.
So, yeah.
So again, that still would have just been an 8.
Yeah, you're not hitting that thing.
Now it's Aura's turn, and Aura has 30 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Actually, she needs to be one tile closer to do this. It's time for Aura to show off one of her new spells. Which she technically already cast on herself, but she hasn't used yet. Just double checking the damage effect on this.
Dang.
I'm sorry about this, Yvonne, but Please make a dex saving throw.
Oh lord, what happened now?
Yvonne is breathing a 15-foot cone of fire in the direction of this armor.
Whip beret, let's see. Dex is. That should be cool. Dice cards are never on my side.
And Aura's spell save DC is 14. Unfortunately, both you and the armor fail. Double max damage. Rose, unfortunately, you're taking 16 points of fire damage here. Hello?
Yeah, you said 15 or 16?
16 points of fire.
Right. I don't know.
Also, be warned, your clothes are now on fire.
The options is for either somebody put me out, or for me to just lose them.
Actually, wait. Aura still has a bonk. If she's close enough to use it, that is. Because 15 feet. She has its move speed of 30, so she can still run forward 10 feet and then bonk this thing. Yeah. Nope, she will not be bonking this thing. Well, Eleise, it is now your clone's turn, and your clone is in no position to attack this thing.
I mean, I do still have the 15 feet of movement to try and attack it.
I mean, I guess you could slip in right over here and try and attack it. There's one spot you can attack it from, which is right here.
Mhm. On top of the fact that I can just use slime wings to fly over people and land in that spot.
I mean, you don't have to use your wings. There is enough space between Yvonne and Araya to walk between the two of them. If you step over one tile and then down one tile using 10 feet of movement.
Would you be willing to allow me to use Ray of Frost to put out the fire on Yvonne's clothing?
I will see what it does, but no, if you do cast Ray of Frost on Yvonne, it will be a normal Ray of Frost.
She can take the hit, and the debuff's probably not going to be a big deal.
No, I think Dragon was saying that if you hit me with Ray of Frost, it's just gonna hurt and it'll still be burning.
I mean,
Yeah, it does frost damage. Well, ice damage, which
frost
is why I
damage.
was asking.
It does cold damage to be specific, so it's not. You're basically just shooting out a beam of concentrated cold energy. More or less. It's more of a freeze ray than an actual, like, throwing a ball of snow or ice at a person.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll just move over here and try to bonk it again. That is a 26 to hit.
Roll your damage dice. Also, Rose has create water. She can just drench herself when it comes if after this thing dies in combat rounds end.
Alrighty. And, yep, 25 damage. Yeah, I may not be able to take a hit, but I definitely hit like a truck.
Anything else you'd like to do?
Uh, Clone still has its bonus action, so it'll just use Slime Enchantment on Aura's big wrench to upcast it and deal with thunder, I guess. So yeah, Aura's wrench now does an additional 2d4 thunder damage. Well, its damage type is changed to thunder entirely and does an additional 2d4 damage.
And with that, it is now Narmaya's turn. And it's time for another catch feature. Bonus action, stance swap.
And yeah, I'm just gonna put the blue marker on people who have a weapon with Slime Enchantment on it.
Time to ditch half of her ace armor class. In exchange for this, she gets a massive buff to her movement equal to, I'm just double checking how I have this written, but so Narmaya's 5 feet times the amount of butterflies she has, which is currently 3, so she gains an additional 15 feet, bringing her from 30 to, that would be 30 plus 15, 45 feet of movement at the cost of half of her AC. 10, 10. She didn't really need, I mean, yeah, she did have to do that because Dawnfly cuts her movement in half, so it was down to 15. $15. That will not hit. Damn, 2 15s in a row. Well, unfortunately, it is now the armor's turn. Roll your d4 to resist, Eleise.
2.
7 damage.
And I'm assuming it's on the main body?
Yep. This thing is only going to attack whatever is closest to that door frame.
Oh, I wrote equals 7, not -7.
Roll your next d4.
Alright, so this is 6 damage.
Yep. It is now your turn.
Alrighty, and unlike with the clone, I'm not going to forget about my passive this time, and doesn't trigger. Just like last time, attempt to bonk. So that is a 23 to hit.
You don't have to roll for damage because you already have 4 damage dice. This thing only has 3 HP.
Yeah.
Alright, Yvonne. Combat is now over. Would you like to use a cast of Create Water to put out the fire on yourself? Because I'm pretty sure you have that. I'm just gonna double check. Just real quick.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yes, you have the spell Create and Destroy Water. Congratulations, you create a giant pool of water above yourself and drench the flames on your clothing. Alright, which way would you guys like to go? I'm guessing you want to continue going in through this hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buster Frank, I just want to ask since I'm kind of paranoid of this place and I want to be prepared. Could I just get rid of whatever was burning, or was? Because I'm pretty sure I would still have my regular armor.
I mean, sure. You only really have the set of leather armor with you, though. You don't have anything else, so do you just want to run around the dungeon naked?
I was not aware
I'd
that.
recommend keeping your armor on, not taking it off.
No, yeah, definitely. I was just not aware that. I know this may sound dumb. I was just not aware that it was flammable.
It's made of leather. Why would it not be flammable? Remember, the technology level in this world is that of like the middle of medieval Europe. We don't have the ability to treat leather so it's not flammable.
Well, I was gonna say that. Yeah, no, I remember quite literally any clothes I had ever had made of leather had a tag that would say that that it's harder for them to catch on fire, but that does not mean they're fireproof. So I'm like, oh wait, yep.
But
Hey, Dragon,
And
I would
yeah,
like to roll to recover HP because my passive is technically always working. It's not a combat exclusive thing.
Sure, I'll let you do it now.
Alrighty. Yeah, let's just roll up. Yeah, 44. 12 HP recovered.
Uh, no, not 4. You get one of them for right now.
Alright, so yeah. That is what?
You got
What?
5 threes in a row.
Yeah.
You got all threes apparently.
Alright, move into the room whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, why I rolled the d20 is because if it rolled a 15 or higher, I would have rolled a 2d4 because that is how the passive works.
Off the chest. Do you not want to come into this room, Yvonne? There's an item in here that I specifically put in here for you.
Yeah, no, I was having a demo moment where I was going to head in around here. I guess I'll just leave myself here. I was gonna head in around here, but I kept dragging the page instead of my character.
Ah, okay. So, Yvonne, you can either open the chest above you or below you.
Hmm. Let's see what's below.
Alright, you open the chest below you and find a small ring. And give me a second to pull this up so I can get a better description of what it is, because I actually have this ring tabbed, because this is a very fun thing. This ring is a very fun ring. So it's a small golden ring, inlaid with 3 crystals that appear to be glowing.
Hmm.
Would you like to take this? This is not the
I
item
would
that I had
definitely
prepared for you originally. There is a different item in this room that I made that I put in here just for your character.
like. Hmm. Well, can I not take this and look
You can take both.
for?
You can take both if you want.
All right, I guess so. So I guess I'll take this ring and look in the chest above.
As you open the chest above you, please excuse my drawing skills on this. I will get pictures of the ring that you just found and the item that's actually in this chest. But you find a dark blue robe inlaid with glow. On in it, you can see what look like stars, especially 6 very prominent ones over the chest region.
I find a what with stars that has more around the
A,
chest.
a giant, it's a giant cloak. It's a giant dark blue cloak with stars, especially 6 prominent ones near the chest region. I will send a picture in the Discord of both the ring and the cloak.
Huh.
What would you like to do?
Hmm. Alright, I'm going to... I'm gonna take my other shape-changing item and see if it can... Because I entirely forgot this was a thing past, like, the first time this ever happened. But I'm going to try and see if I can, if I can do, like, the history check for memories or whatever I did with this the first time I had this.
So you have you have just a cloak in front of you, and you're gonna see if you know anything about this cloak, which is from this world, not from your original world.
Yep, because as I said, I have nothing. So when I see new item, when I see new magic items that look important, I'm going to try and see. Huh? Do I know you?
All right. Roll a history check. Also, would you like to roll an Arcana check on the ring while you're at it?
Yes. Let me see. History was nothing, right?
I do believe you have a 0 bonus to history.
Yep, and Arcana was nothing. So yeah, roll 2d20.
6 and a 9. You are able to glean nothing about either,
Oh dear.
unfortunately. I'm
Well,
sure
I'll just take them off.
Elise is very happy with the item that you picked up if they saw the name of it in the picture. The first one. Are you gonna grab the robe?
Yes, I
No.
will definitely be grabbing the robe.
As you try and grab the robe, it refuses to budge from the chest. You can tell that it's magically resisting you trying to put it on.
I like the Doctor Strange cloak.
Kind of. If you would like, you can roll a DC 10 Arcana check to attune to this item.
Well, let's see. Damn.
Nope, this thing is stuck in the chest. It's not coming out. This is a white check. There is no enemies in this room. Unless Elise wants to come up and try and steal the cloak from you.
Probably because because yeah, I'm just
Elise, would you like to try
just
and
gonna
steal the
step out on
cloak?
them.
Would you like to try and get the cloak?
I don't really care who has it, but yeah, if Yvonne doesn't want it, sure, I'll take it.
The thing is, I had originally put the cloak in here for Yvonne's character. The ring was supposed to be for you.
So okay, yeah, Yvonne, definitely take the cloak.
I tried.
It's a white check. You
Funny
can go
thing,
back and redo it.
yeah, there aren't any enemies in here. You can literally just keep on rolling until you get it. You can brute force
Uh,
it.
okay, I guess. Don't really feel like staying here forever, but let's see.
Come on, I told you. I'll let that pass. You successfully pick up the cloak and put it on. As you do so, you feel power surge through the cloak to the stars in the chest region. And you hear a voice in your head telling you that if you need to remove one of the stars and throw it.
Can I ask it if they restock? Cause I kinda wanna try it right now.
Uh, there is no response.
Yeah. Alright, I guess I will just Like pluck one off and beat it at the wall.
Frick. You have just cast a level 5 magic missile at the wall.
What the?
What? Well, that was something.
Rose got a fun one. I just read what her robe does.
Yes. On top of that, do you see what the ring was?
Yep.
Yeah, you see
He
why
definitely
it's about the only thing I could think of to give you. Because your character just refuses to use anything other than the ring I gave you earlier. And there's
Yeah,
one more item in this area that was set aside for a particular NPC who was just as like a flavor item, which I did give stats to for anybody who wants to use it in their own campaigns. But um give me a second, I had to switch back to the GM tokens layer. Change layer to tokens. Bring myself back to the tokens layer. Normaya walks forward and opens the chest in front of her, seeing the items Yvonne pulled out of her two chests. Inside is a blue blade that has sparkles on it that seem to resemble the stars, similar to the cloak Yvonne just pulled out of her chest. I will send a picture of the sword that she pulls out. Normaya reaches in and pulls out the sword. Can I paste in my full command? Which or Normaya has a strength modifier of 5. And she is easily able to pull the sword from the chest. And she sheathes it on, and she attaches its scabbard to where her normal sword is. Where would
so
you guys like to?
Narmada has a new weapon.
Yes, it is. It is a custom weapon I made. It is in the stat block for this campaign. It is called the Fortunia Blade, and it does 3d8 slashing damage plus 1 plus 3d4 radiant damage. It is a longsword, according to its stat block, but flavor text, it's just a katana. It's just a magic star katana.
But I changed that damage to thunder.
How about no?
So you're not gonna let me cast Slime Enchantment on it for a just strict damage buff?
I mean, Nirmaya's at the other end of the room from you. Also, are you sure you want to waste both you and your clone are at 1 second level spell each? Are you sure you want to do that?
And what else am I gonna? Yeah, what else am I gonna use the spell slots on?
You have other spells.
Yes. Shield of Faith. Ray of Frost. Shocking Grasp. Light. Yeah, I can upcast the cantrips, but thing is, I'm probably never gonna, because I have them for their utility and not their actual damage.
I mean, you never know. Shopping grass could be one of the things I didn't give these armors immunity to.
You know what else does thunder damage? My great sword.
Yeah, you know what else? I may have given these things shocking grasp immunity, but I don't. You never know. I didn't read off all their stats. I just read off their immunities. They could be weak to cold damage. Maybe, just maybe, Freeze Ray would be super effective to these things. You never know.
Yeah, I do know. I looked up their stat block.
Excuse me. What? You
That
do
is
realize
something
that the
Al
creature stat blocks are
have
supposed
more
to
to
be
do.
private to the DM unless he reveals something about their stats to the players. Because I'm actually
I think she
technically
means
not even
she
supposed to be giving you guys their immunities unless you have a skill that lets you know their immunities.
I think she means she Googled it or somehow found it.
Yeah, I know the base stat block of these things. If you put any extra, yeah, if you tacked on any extras onto that, I'm not going to know that. But I know a base one of these looks like.
Yeah, just because of that, I am going to start tacking on some extra things to these things, just because you're looking up their stats when you're not supposed to know them.
I mean, if I was a seasoned D&D player, I'd probably know these off the top of my head anyway.
I mean, more likely you'd know, like, about their stats and their immunities, you wouldn't know exactly what they were. Because there are so many creatures in this book that not even I would be possible memorizing them all. And I'm really good at memorizing stat blocks and stuff. But anyways, with that,
About them earlier, didn't you actually say that they don't have any damage weaknesses?
you never know, I could have been tricking you. Again, I'm not required to give you guys the proper things for because you'd have nobody in this party has a skill that would let them know the weaknesses or immunities of an enemy creature, unless they had fought it before in lore, which you guys all have memory loss. The only people who'd have memories are Aura and Nermaya, who Aura grew up on a desert island, and Nermaya has no backstory that I've come up with yet.
Yeah, there's still the other points of I'm not going to actually cast Shocking Grasp and Ray of Frost unless I'm given a legitimate reason to.
Also, what the spell I chose from Rose's list to make these guys immune to is very funny. So, Slayer's spell list, Rose's spell list, Aura's spell list. And yes, Rose can technically use this on hostile creatures. So I put it in there just for a funny haha in case she decides to try it out. If you looked at my stream just there, you'd know what I'm talking about. But yeah.
But
Anyways, congratulations. You guys get to keep Narmaya around for another session, willingly or unwillingly. Because I'm gonna call it here and we will continue the dungeon raid tomorrow. If I have time.
So, yeah.
Do you guys, from the encounter so far, would you like to keep Narmaya in your party?
Oh, definitely, yes.
yes.
She seems like she'd be a pretty big help, and she can serve the purpose that I originally made BT to serve, which is
She's
just
also
being a fourth party member.
She's also just a fun character.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to make
Yeah,
her a
I
fun
originally
character.
made BT just to be the fourth party member, so that way we have a standard party size.
Yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute. BT's a giant robot. He's not gonna fit in most normal sized dungeons, so making another character here, one gives me the chance to test out one of my freaking one of the custom groups that I've worked on. I am going to definitely fix that. I'm pretty sure I sent you the document with all the stats for the 2 custom classes that I made. Slayer. If not,
Yeah,
I can add that change and then send
so
it to you again.
yeah, plus after I make the balance tweaks to the slime class, I'm going to start work on another one. Because yeah, I'd say that the slime is definitely in a good enough spot that I don't need to change anything. I just need to tweak the numbers.
All right, well, that's going to be all for now, and I'll see y'all next time.